This is Car Con Carne for the month of October. It is Candy Corn Carne, nothing but Halloween adjacent interviews and episodes. Car Con Carne is presented by Alex Ross Art. Alex Ross, truly one of the greats when it comes to graphic novels, comics. His photorealistic way of painting DC and Marvel characters makes you believe, as you look at them, that they could just jump off the page and live next door. Alex Ross also has a fantastic YouTube page, and here's Alex Ross to tell you all about that.
Hi, this is Alex Ross. I appreciate you guys supporting our YouTube, and we create new content every week. I hope you will continue to support us, and please subscribe.
Hang on. I've got to play the theme song. Yeah, here we go. Ready? I can do it from here.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And Car Con Carne is also sponsored by In the Loop magazine. If you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, you're probably a big music fan. And Chicago is one of those places where you can see a concert any night of the week. You can probably see multiple concerts any night of the week. When you're in a world-class music city like Chicago, there's so much happening that it can kind of feel overwhelming. That's where In the Loop magazine comes in. They cover everything from up-and-coming club acts. I'm on Belmont. They cover what goes on at Beat Kitchen. They also cover what happens at the United Center. The big, the small, all points in between. In the Loop magazine is there with music coverage, photos, show recaps, tour previews, interviews, everything you need to feel plugged in. In the Loop loves music just like you do, just like I do, and they are there on the front lines of all things music in Chicago. Check them out at beintheloopchicago.com. And from there, we switch website plugs to the horrorhouseshop.com. It is Halloween season. It is spooky time. I'm here with Vinny of the Horror House on Belmont. It is 911 West Belmont.
2911.
2911. I did a terrible job of copying and pasting. 911 would be right by the lake. 2911 West Belmont. The Horror House. I always have to over-articulate it because, as previously mentioned on this podcast, you kind of threw a landmine up when you created this store name.
Yeah, it's working. It's working. People, I haven't had any creeps come in here thinking it's actual horror house, but,
So let's start
crossed.
there. Again, it's Halloween time. This seems to be the place to go to any time of year. But really, this month, this is your go time. This is your Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's obviously our favorite time of the year, our biggest month. The only difference that I didn't really keep in mind, or I guess take into consideration, is that October is the one time of the year that we have competitors that pop up.
Oh, sure,
Spirit.
Of course.
But the cool
They
thing
took
is
over
that,
the Signature Room at the Hancock. They're all over the place.
Yep, they're everywhere. Them, I think there's a Halloween City or whatever. But
it's two different business models.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. It's a whole different experience when you come in here. If you're familiar with like horror movie conventions and stuff like that, that's kind of like the vibe you go for. When you walk in, you can get anything from VHS blankets to
VHS tapes.
VHS tapes, yeah, leggings with pockets.
That's leggings with pockets, ladies.
Figurines, collectibles, artwork from local artists, and I feel like it's cool. You can come here, you can pick up 4 different things and support 4 different small businesses or independent artists. Which it's no knock on Spirit Halloween, but it's a little bit more.
It's different things. You go to Spirit for your parties.
Right.
I want party supplies. I'm having people over for Halloween. This is where you go because I'm a fan of this stuff.
Right, exactly. That we kind of try to lure in like the real horror fans, the one who, when
or
they're
even the
driving
casual
past,
ones. I mean,
yeah.
The real ones are absolutely satisfied, but people off the street are like, oh, Halloween, there's Michael Myers, and look at all this cool, there's Donald Pleasance in action figure form next to Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, lots of cool stuff that hits all the nostalgic notes.
Yep, and that's what we try to prioritize. I mean, even if you look at the windows, there's a couple little Easter eggs in there, like Alf, Pee-wee, Herman, the Golden Girls, things that don't need to be on there, but it's all things that we love, so it all makes sense in some weird way.
80s things that you love.
Yeah. I mean, I have if you look at the top of that little display case over there, it's my Alf on a shelf.
Alf on a shelf. That's amazing.
somebody's gonna steal that. Watch it, and next year when we see Target, and you walk in during Christmas time, there's a fucking Alf on the shelf. They stole it from me.
So, just over a year and a half ago or so, I had you guys on. You were kickstarting the launch of the store.
Yep.
I mean, you're just over a year into this. I mean, it's kind of a loaded question, but it's kind of not. How's business?
It's been great. It's been really good. We've had a lot of support from not just the neighborhood and the neighboring businesses, but just the horror community in general. We get a lot of people who travel from out of state just to come here and check out the shop. So with the mixture of our TikTok, our Instagram, and all that stuff, it's kind of created a really good flow for us, And with every passing month and every event or pop-up that we do, it just we see an increase. So it's been really good. And
I was hoping that was the answer because that's
Yeah.
what I was expecting the answer to be. Mm-hmm. Because this is a one-of-a-kind thing. And the secret to being successful is find something that no one else is doing it and do it really well.
yeah, and just make sure that you really like what you're doing, because at the end,
That's absolutely true.
Because I'll tell you this, it's not easy. I mean, you walked in, I was deflating an air mattress because I was working late.
Yeah, we're here on
At the
a
shop.
night when you're closed. Mm-hmm. And thank you for that. Thank you. I mean, thank you for doing this on an off night.
Thank you for doing this in general.
Yeah, but to your point, yeah, you had to deflate the air mattress that you slept on because, this is a 24/7 job for you.
Yep.
Keeping the lights on.
Right. Like you find different ways to hustle, and there's going to be times where there's wrench thrown into your plans and you don't know how to deal with it. Like, for example,
Wouldn't you say an axe thrown into your
Yeah,
plans?
yeah,
If you,
yeah,
you
an
want to
axe
keep the
thrown into your
metaphor,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, good call. This is why they pay you the big bucks. No, so for example, earlier last week, my computer completely shit out. I was not prepared for it. I didn't even have an inkling this was going to happen. So I didn't back up anything.
Like your hard drive crashed. You
I'm currently they're trying to save the files right now. I'm getting it repaired.
and you were about to say you didn't have it backed up.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I had flyers, templates for flyers that we make for all our events.
Oh no.
I work also for Pro Wrestling Tees, so there's a lot of just files that I need to make things for my boss, and because I still do that on the side. Obviously as a small business owner, you still need to make ends meet. So, yeah, all those files were just thrown to shit, and I'm hoping I can get them back. So I've been spending the past week or so just playing catch up, trying to find a lot of the fonts I had for my old computer, just little tedious things that.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing about small business ownership. You have the stuff you have to do, but frequently you're taken in directions you could have never prepared for.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's where we're at.
Yeah. So you just got to kind of find a way to land on your feet and improvise when you don't know what to do, Just kind of hope for the best, I guess.
Here's how I knew. I mean, I assumed you were going to be successful with this, but here's how I knew you were doing really well. Last time I saw you was just last month at Riot Fest. Horror House had a tent at Riot Fest. I couldn't get near you. I walked by a few times. I wanted to talk, and there's just no way.
I know. I felt bad. There was a few of my friends who tried to stop by, and I could see them from afar, but I could only really wave. It's a good problem to have. But,
Great problem to have.
Yeah, and I think those hand fans are really.
Well, and I was also taken by the severed finger keychains.
Oh yeah, those are a hit. Those are a hit. I don't know if you heard the story, but
No.
so there's a YouTube channel called Grim Life Collective. They go around, sweetest couple, Michael and Jess, and they go to famous landmarks and places that have been filmed. I'm trying to think of an example, like the original Chucky apartment complex.
Okay.
They
So like
visited-
horror movie landmarks.
Yeah, but then they also do stuff like Richie Valens' grave,
Okay.
and stuff like that. If you're a La Bamba fan, they came to our shop and they covered us, and I told the story of the severed finger. So I took one of the severed fingers and I put it on my keychain because I was like, I should have it on the shop key.
Mhm.
Why not?
Makes sense.
And I guess I'm kind of rough with the way I put my keys in my pocket, and I guess I was getting in the car and it came off. It just completely broke off. Fell in a puddle right outside the shop. It was another late night where I was crashing here and I was by myself. Woke up and there were cops outside the shop.
Oh, no.
And I didn't think anything of it, so I went to go grab something from my car. And when I went to go grab it, the female police officer was like, "Sir, can I ask you a couple questions? Do you know anything about there was a possible murder that happened out here? Do you know They were looking down at something, and I looked down,
Oh no.
and it was a fucking severed finger.
Oh my God.
And the guy, I guess somebody parked right by the same spot that I had dropped it at. So when he got out the car, he just saw the puddle, and he immediately called 911. So there was
Which
a cop.
is what you should do.
Right,
If you
for
see
sure.
something, say something.
Yeah, and there was a cop car there, and another one across the street, and I came out and I saw it, and I kind of smirked, and I went to go grab it, and I could tell like how tense it was. She was going to try to stop me from grabbing it because it was.
It was evidence.
Yeah, right. And I told her, I was like, it's a keychain. I was like, I promise you. I go to pick it up, and I show her, and obviously there's like a sense of relief. She tells the cop, and then I guess they walkie-talkie her, and they're like, could he prove that those are keychains? And so I had to walk him into the shop and show him the whole little section of the bloody fingers, and they had to call off the rest of the backup.
And I want the ending of that to be, and now they're customers, and they come in all the time.
Yep. They gave us 2 thumbs up.
Let's take a step back. And for those who didn't hear our chat in early 2022, going into this, were you just kind of going on a hunch? Did you do market research? How did you decide that this was going to be the business model?
I didn't. I just knew that I wanted to open up a horror shop. And when me and my brother started the Cryptic Closet, we did a lot of horror
And explain real
conventions.
quick what that is for people.
Yeah,
who
so
don't
the Cryptic Closet is like a brand that me and him started. We sold T-shirts. It was pretty much online based. So we did online stuff, and then we do horror movie conventions. And for those who aren't familiar with the conventions, it's pretty much like you set up like a little mini shop.
Yeah.
You set up your table,
It's a
whatever your
pop-up.
little space. Yeah. And fast forward to 2019, I actually put together a 3-day pop-up called the Horror House, and I hit up a lot of my friend vendors, and I kind of tried to do like an approach like Days of the Dead convention, but instead of focusing on celebrities, I focused on the vendors and the artists. And a lot of those people who were there were people that we actually do carry in shop now.
I love that.
So that was like the first time that I kind of had that vision. And then you fast forward even more to 2021, Bric-a-Brac is in the process of trying to move to the bigger location. So shout out to Nick and Jen for even keeping us in mind. But there were times where I would go to Bric-a-Brac and chat with them and tell them the long-term goal of having a storefront. And they called us and, asked us if we wanted that space. And it didn't work out, but during that process, me, Moses, and Aaron, the other owner, we would sit and just brainstorm and like came up with ideas like, what if we have a T-shirt printer downstairs and we could print, if there's not, if somebody wants the size and we don't have it, we can just go downstairs and print it.
Yeah, give me 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Let's start reaching out to some of our friends, see if anybody's interested. And then lo and behold, like we had a lot more interest than we initially expected, and from there it just kind of snowballed with like ideas and just like the energy. And at that point it was like when we found out that the space that Bric-a-Brac originally had didn't go through and we weren't going to get it, it was like, fuck, this is like too good of an idea to just like sit on and just let
Because if you don't do it, someone eventually will.
And that was the biggest thing is like you want, especially after Horribles and House of Monsters and all that, like they're no longer here, unfortunately. It was like a big void that's missing, So it's like not only do we want to open up a horror shop at this point, we want to be the first ones to do it now. And it just worked out and we got lucky.
A year and a half later, what's been the hardest thing?
I think it's just getting used to like the tasks that you're not super used to. Like, like my brother, thank God for Moses, we do our ST1s every month where we have to pay our sales, our state taxes and all that stuff. Like all the not so fun things that they don't tell you about.
Right.
Or like when you have to call the alderman because the city decides to tear up the sidewalk directly in front of your shop and doesn't tell you anything.
That sucks.
Yeah, and doesn't leave you with a ramp or anything for your customers. So then you got to find a way to contact them, get something fixed, and kind of like bitch your way to the top.
Okay, so on the other side of that, what's been the best thing to come from this?
The people we've met, for sure. Like the customers, the friends we've made, and just like anybody who stepped foot in it. Like that's the most gratifying thing is being able to meet people from all over the world who share the same love of horror. And there's times where there's certain people who can't hide the excitement, and they get just as excited as we are about just being here. And when they share that level of excitement, it's just like that's probably the one of the most rewarding feelings. Or seeing somebody. I'm driving down Elson. I see somebody wearing a Coffee the Coffin horror house shirt.
I love that's one of my favorite designs ever. But yeah, I'm sure when people walk in, to your point, it's like, oh, I'm with my people. Like, these people actually get me.
Yeah.
You're in Avondale, which talk about being in the right place at the right time. This neighborhood, I feel like it's just exploding. And it's not just exploding in the conventional. Oh, people are moving in, stores are going up. Like, lots of cool places are in this area. Like,
yeah, Bucket of Blood, Demon Tap, Kuma's, Tribeca's.
Yeah.
You got the vintage cute, the vintage hair and cute place over there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Reed's Local, who I mean they're owned by some of the sweetest freaking people. Yeah, I mean
it's a nice little retail community,
right? And I think we were just talking about this right before we went live, but there's another little tea shop and like a vintage antique style, like a spooky themed one opening up right across the street. So it's just like it's getting more and more creepy,
I love it.
And you got the alley not less than a mile away, so it's just like it's a good spot for people who are interested in that kind of thing. Like when they're walking around, they're like, "Hey, I'm from, I don't know, California," and they're in this general area. I'll give them like a little list of all the places to hit.
This is like Oakbrook Mall for the rest of us, walking through Avondale.
It's great. I sometimes I think like we probably wouldn't be in as good of a position as we are now if we would have had the spot where Brick a Breck was originally located.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Also, I only brought up the 911 thing because you don't smell anything. Cause
I don't.
Cool. My bong is in the fridge too.
Okay, it's in the fridge. Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Well, yeah, we'll tell you later.
Okay. So, is there one thing or one type of thing that people typically walk out of here with, or is it just you never know what someone's going to buy? Like, do you know? Okay, well, people are always going to buy Funko Pops or T-shirts or.
I think because the shop has so many different things, it's really hard to gauge.
Yeah, that's why I ask. Like,
yeah.
And I guess my next question is, how do you know how to source product? Like every time you order something, I'm sure there's a little risk to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, like for example, we order earrings from a company called Alien Brats, and they're the woman who makes the earrings are fucking awesome. When I order them, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't wear women's earrings. I just pretend. What would I wear if I was a woman? And then I just order all the super nostalgic ones or whatever. I mean, that's, I try to put on the horror fan cap when I'm ordering stuff, And then worst case, if it doesn't move that well, we'll know. Like, let's say I'll order from a company doing wholesale, and I'll order 3 or 4 different items, but 2 of them hit, 2 of them don't. I know, okay, well, we'll put the other 2 on clearance and, all that. So just kind of like a weird game of just like figuring it all out, but I will say the one item that always gets laughs and attention, even though it's not really horror related, is the Fanny DeVito.
I was going to say that's almost like a signature piece.
Yep. At Riot Fest, the hand fans, those were like the 2 main selling items.
Fanny DeVito. It's a fanny pack with the face of Danny DeVito.
And then the hand fan had a picture of Dave Grohl, and you turn around and says, "I'm a Dave Grohl fan." So it's just, people just love dad jokes. That's just what it is.
I've been saying that for a while. I've been coasting on that for a while. So you mentioned that people come from out of town to Horror House. I'm thinking about your business. Is this concept scalable to other markets? Is that something you've ever entertained?
Like, you mean,
would you ever franchise this, open up a second horror house, a horror home, a horror lean-to,
a horror apartment complex?
Yes.
Yeah.
Horror condo?
Yeah, we do want to expand. We want to get bigger. It just, if it all makes sense, like as long as it keeps the same kind of vibe and it doesn't lose the whole, I guess, energy that the shop carries, like when you walk in here, there's some people who are like, "Oh, I hate horror movies." Like they'll be walking in with their boyfriend who loves horror movies. And I'm like, "Oh man, like there's creepy stuff, but it's not as like overwhelming as I was expecting it to be when I walk in, And I mean, between that and the people who work there, as long as we had a good grasp on what was going on, I think we would love to franchise and have other, expand ideally,
because
I
the
wanna
horror
move,
community is vast.
Right. I mean, first and foremost, we want to move into a bigger space. So, like,
Yeah, you're covered. I mean, your walls and shelves are packed with stuff to look at and see and buy here.
yeah, we have like a few years left, and I don't know where else to put stuff. So, the goal is to expand, and from there, maybe move to do one in Michigan. Start, or kind of. I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. I love horror movies, but I don't know what the actual horror markets are outside of Chicago.
Yeah, and you don't need to right now. So as you continue to grow, I'm keenly aware that in-stores have been a part of building your brand and building community here. You have a couple. We're recording this on the 2nd of October. You have a couple coming up. Starting with October 8th, it's Jackson Robert Scott from It.
Yep. Georgie himself will be here. It's gonna be his first signing in Chicago too.
That's huge.
Which is really cool. His agent called us and, like I said, heard about us and asked if we'd want to host.
That's why you get in first. Like you become part of that conversation. Someone is touring on a promotion jaunt, and they just de facto turn to you.
Yeah, there was one specifically I wish you could have been here for. It was Tim Capello.
Yeah,
that was probably the coolest signing we had. He performed the song from Lost Boys, I Still Believe.
That's amazing.
And even we had the whole room crowded. We got a sound system. This man went to the bathroom and oiled himself up before he performed.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. He looked like Triple H coming out of the bathroom
amazing.
With the saxophone, and
That's amazing.
It was the coolest thing. I was just sitting there like, this is my job. Like, this is what
He owns it.
Yeah. But just sitting there and just seeing people move around and like being like, this is so fucking cool. Or even we had a screening at music for our 1 year anniversary. We did Killer Clowns from Outer Space. To this day, I have people coming up to, even at Riot Fest, a guy came up and he's like, that was one of the best movie going experiences I've ever had in my life. Like that, between the cotton candy and just the vibe and how, just the energy of that night. Like, yeah, I mean, doing those events, it makes it, I don't know. I enjoy doing that just as much as I do being here behind the register.
I love that. And then coming up on the 15th, we have
Goretta from Demons.
Amazing.
Yeah, but we actually have another event too this Friday at Music Box.
Oh, tell me about that.
We're going to be hosting another screening, but we're going to be doing The Crow.
Oh.
Yeah, and we're going to have Bei Ling. She's one of the actresses in the movie. She's going to be there doing a meet and greet and then doing a Q&A after the movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And we all can agree that soundtrack is probably the best soundtrack of the 90s, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
By far.
I got extra excited watching The Cure play Burn live at Riot Fest.
Yeah, it was such a great song.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe that was just a soundtrack song for the band.
I know.
All right, so again, the Horror House, there's so much going on. Just in general, there's so much to see just walking in off the street, but these events we're talking about, the Music Box screening of The Crow, the horrorhouseshop.com is where we can keep up to date with you. A year plus in, I love coming in here. It's a store for the rest of us.
Thank you. It really means a lot. And I just love seeing the excitement of other people when they come in here and see all the stuff and kind of get all mark out and get excited. Like that's what brings me joy, Because
as you walk through the aisles and look on the walls, everyone has a story or memory attached to that. And I found myself doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, there are the Halloween 3 masks. I love that movie. A dark ending. Like everything you look at, oh, there's the Rob Zombie stuff. Like it all takes me back. Everything's a nostalgia trigger in here.
Yep. And it's sometimes seeing people walk in and kind of just looking at the reaction. It takes me back to the first time I walked into Horribles, and I was
was in Berwyn.
Yeah, in Berwyn on Roosevelt, and John Aranza, and I did. You had Will who worked there. It was just like when I walked in there the first time, I was just like, this is my kind of spot. Like this is if I lived here, I'd be coming here every day, even not just to shop, just to hang out,
Totally.
And I'm grateful and blessed enough to be able to say that I have one of my own with my brother and my best friend.
That's amazing. Congratulations on everything so far. We'll
Thank
keep
you.
coming back.
Thank you.
And happy Halloween. This is your time.
Happy Halloween to you too. Thank you for making the time to come over here.